Hello everyone, welcome to Just Invest Today, and in today's video we have to talk about there's no more threat to the delisting of the Chinese companies coming from China. We're talking about Alibaba, Nio, JD.com, Tencent, all of these companies, because you have to remember what crashed these Chinese stocks. It's all the VIE structure, the VIE risk. People were afraid that Xi Jinping was gonna just cancel all these companies and delist them themselves. So regarding that risk, it can kind of calm down now because the CSRC actually released their kind of framework for listing in overseas markets. So in today's video, we're gonna get into it. But before that, can you like this video, subscribe to this channel? I'm providing you with so much new content, man. So come on, like it, subscribe, click it right now. So let's get into it. So if you're not following this girl on Twitter, you're doing a disservice because she's amazing on Twitter regarding Chinese companies, Chinese stocks. She has a lot of good insight. So her name is like Ru Ma. So go follow her. I probably pronounced that wrong, but let's read what she said about all these new draft rules. And here's the draft rules that came out from the China Securities and Regulatory Commission. But obviously I don't know Chinese, so here it is. China's new draft rules regarding listing process for domestic companies on foreign exchanges, VIEs, in the US came out. Basically, you need to file for the CSRC approval within 3 days of foreign filing, and if the material is complete, decisions in 20. So you need to go to them first before you just make these decisions on actually going onto the US exchanges, because you have to go through a fine-tooth comb for security risk, and that's like their main issue, and that's how Didi basically got canceled. They didn't go through them. They wanted to register for an IPO in New York. State Council also has draft rules regarding who can't list abroad, national security threats, management controlling shareholders who have financial crimes within 3 years, executives, bods under an administrative penalties investigation. So these are the rules. These are the people who cannot go draft or cannot sign up for an IPO. Finally, the CSRC has explicitly okayed the VIEs to list abroad. In addition, under the premise of complying with domestic laws and regulations, VIE structured enterprises that meet compliance requirements can be listed overseas after filing. So the listing overseas after filing is super key. So there it is, man. China is not banning VIEs. They okayed it. They're not saying it's illegal. Because remember, that is the biggest threat that's been crashing all of these stocks in the market, especially these Chinese companies, man. So with that regulatory overhang kind of over, is this going to bring back Alibaba, Nio, Tencent, and all these companies? But we still have to think about USA. So the Chinese side is cleared, but we still have the USA audit procedure that they're saying they can ban all of these Chinese companies in 5 years if they don't adhere to the audits. So now it's on the US, it's not on the Chinese, because people didn't really recognize that threat until people thought the Chinese were going to ban all these companies themselves. But since that's not the case, can we actually look to the US regarding them not banning these companies? Because there's been so many rumors, there's been so many mishandlings, but for once the Chinese companies are actually talking to regulators about that. They try to work it out. So I don't see that happening. China to tighten foreign IPOs may ban some on national security. This is basically referring to the article I just read, or the Twitter post I just read. All Chinese companies seeking initial public offerings and additional share sales abroad would have to register with the Chinese Security Regulatory Commission. Under the proposals, firms whose overseas listings could threaten national security are barred from share sales, and companies whose activities raise cybersecurity concerns will go through security reviews. So that's it right there. And that's what Didi failed. They did not go through the security review. It threatened national security. So that's why Didi is an isolated situation, and that's why the threat of banning of Alibaba, of Nio, is not happening according to the Chinese. But that is not the same thing for the US. They still might ban it. So we gotta worry more about the US banning it than the Chinese. So that's big news for me. I think the market should react really favorable. Improving the oversight of firms listing abroad comes against the backdrop of open capital markets, and the regulations are to facilitate more healthy, sustainable long-term development. So that's what it is. It's sustaining development, making sure national security concerns are not going out, man. So tell me what you think about all this. Do you think this is a huge catalyst for Alibaba going forward? We don't have the risk of delisting from the Chinese government, which everyone was afraid about, which everyone was saying that this was going to happen. That's why people are afraid to invest in Alibaba and Nio and all of these strong companies, man. So what do you think about that? These new rules, man. Guys, can you please like and subscribe to this channel? Thank you so much. Peace.